6. Second lesson of module 6 will be actually one-step addition equations. And at the end of the lesson, students will use the subtraction property of equality to write and solve one-step addition equations. Look, miss, as you can see here, you can notice that we have two operations, addition and subtraction. Now, addition is the operation you will see it. Subtraction is the operation you will use it to find out the solution, to find out the value of the variable. Now the addition will be the equation that you will use it to form, or translate the problem and form the equation. And the subtraction is the operation you will use it to find out the value of the variable. Now, generally, you can write equations to represent many real-world life problems involving addition. Now, here in the table, you can notice that on all of the statements or in all of the, problems, life problems, we have words. Now, these words are actually they are look like keywords for you that help you because it's describe the operation that you will use it. It helps you to decide to use which operation you can write it, because at the beginning you have to form an equation, you have to write an equation, and then if you have been asked, you will solve it. But very important thing to know how to form it at first. Now, when you form an equation, you must use a variable to represent an unknown quantity or unknown value or unknown, number. You have to use variable x, y, m as you want, but you have to use variable. And after that, you will translate the words into algebraic equation. Translate it. Now, describing the quantity that the variable will be represented and describing, or selecting a letter to represent the unknown quantity is called defining the variable. So at first you have to define the variable and then you will form the equation. Now, in the first example from the book, they say in a recent Summer Olympics, the United States won 23 more medals in swimming than Australia. Now, the United States won a total of 33 swimming medals. Now, you have, as you can see here, you have two numbers. One of them, they say about it, it's the total. When you read the word the total, it means that this number comes after equal sign. So this is the right side. Now, for all of the equations, I have right side to the equal sign and the left side for the equal sign. Now, when you read the word the total, in addition, problems, so you should know that this number should be to the right side. It's the total number. Now, the other number will be in the left side for sure, but you should add to it a value, or actually add to it a variable, because you don't know the value. You should add to it, one of the letters that you will use it as a variable, and it represents the unknown value. Now, as you can see here from the table, the words, it tells you that it's an addition problem because there is more, and more means this is addition. Now, and they say that a total of 33. So this means, again, it's addition, the word total, and 33 is to the right of the equal sign, as we said. Now, I want to define the variable. How can I define the variable? The variable is actually the number of the medals that Australia won, which is actually, let's put m. So m plus 23 equals 33. Now, if you have been asked to find the number of the medals that Australia won, you will use subtraction, and we will talk about this, after two examples or later, but till now we are just forming equation. We are just forming the equation. Another example tells you that Robin and Tariq downloaded together 245.5 megabytes of music. Now, Robin downloaded 132 megabytes of that total. So the total number of the megabytes, which is 245.5, is to the right of the equal sign. To the left of the equal sign, I have one known, one unknown. The known number actually is the number of the or megabytes that Robin downloaded, which is 132. The unknown number or the unknown variable, it represents the number of the bytes or the megabytes that Tariq downloaded, and we need to find them. So as you can see here, I can put for example, instead of the megabytes, and I can replace it plus 132 equals 245.5 and 132.5. Now the equation 132 plus m equals 245 can be used to find the megabyte that Tariq downloaded. Now you can notice here, for example, they actually cross out or remove together 0.5 from both sides, but if you just put it as it and do it exactly, it will be more accurate and more correct. Now, another way to solve an addition equation is to use inverse operation. Now, in math, in algebra, we can put together the four operations that we used to use or deal with, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We can divide them into two different families. Now, one family is combining together the addition and the subtraction, and the other family is the multiplication and division. Now, for addition and subtraction, if I want to solve, I need what I call it the inverse operation. The inverse operation is actually that it's the operation that undo each other. Now, for example, when I want to, if number 3 is added to an equation and I want to undo this addition, like number 3 is never exist, what I will do, I will subtract it, because if I make for plus 3, if I say minus 3 or subtract 3 from it, so I use the inverse operation. What's the inverse operation of addition? Subtraction. What's the inverse operation of subtraction? Addition. Why did I do it? Why did I do this? Because I want actually to find the value of the variable. So one of the methods to solve an equation, to find the value of a variable, is to use the inverse operation. Now, when you solve an addition equation by subtracting the same number from each side of the equation, you are using the subtraction property of equality. So I want to solve an addition problem. Which equality I will use? Which property I will use? I will use the subtraction property of inequality, of equality. So I use what I call it inverse operation, the operation that sends you back, that it looks like there were no 3. For example, if I say plus 3 minus 3, it looks like that there were no 3 before. For example, if you subtract the same number from each side of an equation, the two sides remain equal. Now, always remember this, grade 6. Whatever you do to one of the sides in an equation, you should do the same to the other side to keep the balance. Look at the equal sign as a balance, and this balance should be existed or kept. So to keep it forever, you should, whatever you do to the right side, you should do the same to the left side. You add number 1 to the right side of the equation, you should add number 1, same number, to the left side of the equation. Now here, when I subtract 2, from the right side, I should subtract it from the left side too. Now, so if you, for example, you want to find the value of x in equation x plus 2 equals -3, it means to keep x as it isolated. I will use the inverse operation. What's the operation? You see it here, it's addition, so you will use the subtraction. What I will subtract? 2 or minus 3? Of course 2, because I don't care about the number that is, to the right side. I just want to get rid of the number that next to x. I want to keep x alone, which I call it isolated. When you isolate x, this means that you find the value of x. How to isolate it? Get rid of 2. How to get rid of it? 2 is added. What to do for it? Subtract it. So since 2 is added, subtract 2. And because it's an equation, whatever you do to the right side, you will do the same to the left side. So this is how we solve equations. We just isolate the variable, put it in the left side, and all of the other numbers in the right side, and use inverse operation.